How's it going, everyone? As always, God bless you and thank you for being here. I'm Gage, and this is Candy Coral Aquatics. Oh my gosh, my voice just cracked. That was weird. Anyways, if you're new here, please think about hitting the subscription button and tapping that notification bell, because this is where I talk about all things reefing, but more importantly, where I share the information and experimentation that I've done on my tank with you guys to help you become better hobbyists at the hobby we call reefing. Today, guys, I'm going to be going ahead and sharing a little bit of bad news with you, but let my bad news be the path and direction for good news and hope for you guys in your reef tank. So several months back, I ended up getting a pest, and it's one of the pests that no Acropora owner ever even wants to think about, and that is the dreaded Acropora eating flatworm. So let's rewind and let me explain how this story happened. So I ended up picking up some Acropora from just a fish store, down in some city somewhere, and I was just out there for work, and I was like, yeah, let's go in and see what they have. Long story short, yeah, cool, you guys got a lot of Acropora, let me get some. So I took it home, threw it in the tank. I was stupid, didn't decide I was going to dip it because I was like, oh, Acropora is sensitive and it's already PO'd because I took it on a 3-hour car ride and I'm just going to put it in the tank and it should be fine and it looks good. Yeah, well, hey, you should always dip your coral, right? Well, as weeks went on, I started to notice that I was getting some little itty-bitty flatworms on my glass. Now, I didn't freak out because, well, to be quite frank, they were brown. At first, I didn't even think they were flatworms. I thought they were something completely different, so I let it go for a while. Then, another week or so goes by, and there's just a bunch of them. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got a lot of these suckers. So I did a little bit of research, found out they were flatworms. I still didn't freak out because the type that they were brown flatworms, which everything that I could find about the brown flatworm suggested that they weren't actually harmful to coral, but what can happen is if they reproduce quickly and there's a lot of nutrients for them to eat up in the tank and they reproduce because of that really quickly, that they can kind of smother your coral, make your coral upset. It'll actually cause zoas and other things not to open up if you have them. And I was just like, oh, that's not going to be a problem for me because I only see 20 or 30 of them on the glass. This can't be a big deal. Long story short, I noticed my coral was not opening. My zoas looked crappy. They were PO'd. Half of the colony would look pretty good. The other half wouldn't even want to open up. So upon further inspection, I noticed not handfuls, but hundreds of little dots, brown and red dots, all over my rockwork. And it turned out to be flatworms. So at that point, I said to myself, I have got to do something about this. But what am I going to do? Well, right around that same time period, I noticed one of my large colonies of Acropora was not looking very good. It was losing a ton of color and it was starting to turn white. And I could actually see where the flesh was actually being removed from it. So that's how I realized, okay, I have Acropora eating flatworms. But what I did learn in all of this mayhem was that there's 2 different kinds of flatworms primarily that you tend to see in an aquarium. Brown ones, and then the clear ones, white ones, opaque ones, whatever you want to call them. They're more like a see-through, white-looking flatworm. The white ones are the bad guys. The brown ones are really just a nuisance. The white ones are the ones that eat the Acropora, and the brown ones are actually, if they weren't reproducing in plague proportions, they're actually not so bad. They really do eat up excess nutrients, and they do help clean the tank, but because they reproduce so quickly, they end up smothering your coral. So what did I end up doing? Well, I thought to myself, I obviously got to get rid of this as fast as possible, and I wanted to go a more natural method, so I thought, well, what if I just bought a fish that primarily eats flatworms? And then I thought to myself, no, that's not going to work because I have so many of these flatworms in this tank that it would be absolutely impossible, number 1, for the fish to eat them all, and then number 2, for it to actually capture and find and consume all of the eggs. That's just not probable. It's not going to happen. It's going to be a waste of time. So I don't like to add chemicals to my tank, guys, but I have to admit, Flatworm Exit by Salifert is an excellent, excellent product. This actually works so well that I'm going to slap it with a caution label. It works so well that I'm going to tell you guys to be careful when you use it. And here's why. What happens is when you add this product to your tank, literally within a matter of minutes, it starts to kill your flatworms. Now, you're like, wow, Gage, well, why is that a problem? Well, when flatworms die, they actually release a pretty potent toxin. And if enough of them die at one time, that toxin builds up rapidly in the aquarium and it can completely wipe out your tank. I mean, it can kill all your fish, all your livestock very, very quickly. So how do you use this product effectively? Well, you add it to the tank, and as soon as you add it, actually before you even add it, you need to make sure that you have a few things. Number one, a good protein skimmer. Number two, activated carbon. And number three, enough water, clean RODI salt water ready to go to be able to do a 50% water change should the need arise. So here's how you use this product. You add it per dosing instructions based within the box, however many drops per gallon for your tank, blah, blah, blah. And then you sit there and you watch. And within the first few minutes of using this product, what you're going to see is all these flatworms starting to string out and fall off the rocks, fall off your coral, and start floating around in the water column. It is at this time that you try to siphon out as many as possible as they're dangling from the rocks and floating around. Because as they start to die, they're releasing that toxin. So we want to siphon that out into a bucket as fast as we can, get as many of those flatworms out as possible while also running a protein skimmer. Once you have removed as many flatworms as possible, and that protein skimmer is running, continue to let the skimmer run, and then you're actually going to add some activated carbon to your system. You want to wait until after you use the medication and after, a good, probably I'd say 15 to 20 minutes has gone by and that medication has really had a chance to work in. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to switch on some type of filtration that has carbon in it. The carbon is going to help pull out any excess medications as well as pull out and remove the toxins that the flatworms are emitting as they die. So add the product, wait a few minutes. As they start to die, siphon them out as quickly and as effectively as possible. Continue to protein skim. Add activated carbon to the system about 15 to 20 minutes after the medication has been administered. Then I would absolutely recommend that you do at least a 30 to 50% water change just to be safe because, again, guys, this toxin is really nothing to mess with. After that is all done, I then recommend that every 7 days you add Salifert's Flatworm Exit to your system and repeat the previous steps as mentioned as needed. And here is why. The medication will kill the adult and juvenile flatworms. However, it will not kill the eggs that they lay. And if you have as many flatworms as I did, you can guarantee that there's some eggs around. The life cycle of the flatworm is 7 days. So every 7 days, the eggs will actually hatch into a larva state where then they'll grow and eventually become the nuisance that we're trying to get rid of. So every 7 days, if you add this product to your tank and carefully inspect and watch, and you do that for about a month, you can be pretty darn sure that you're going to get every little one of those buggers. And that's what I did. Literally every 7 days on the dot, I added a new dose of Flatworm Exit to my tank. And after about a month of doing that, I have not one single flatworm in this system. It has 100% cured my flatworm issue. So that is my method to removing flatworms. Be careful when you use this product because it works so well. And as you're adding it every single week, what you're going to notice is every single week that you add it, and you might even notice it after the second or third application, you're just not going to see flatworms anymore. There's going to be no need for siphoning, no need for water changes because the flatworms are all going to be dead. But continue to add it every 7 days for at least 1 month, even if you don't see dead flatworms, because you want to make sure 110% that you're removing them. So again, guys, I hope this video has helped. I hope that it has given you a proper and effective way to remove your flatworm issue should you ever get one, which I hope you never do. But the main purpose of making this video was I couldn't find a very direct video out there on how to 100% remove these guys. And I'm telling you right now, you guys, I would put money that what I just told you, if you follow it to a T, it's gonna fix your flatworm issue. It did for me, and you can see how happy and healthy my coral is now and how happy and healthy my fish are. I'm telling you guys 100%, this is the product to get. It's not expensive. It's like 13 bucks or something like that. And, you know, one box treats up to 300 gallons. So I have a 60-gallon system. I was able to get multiple treatments out of this one box. And if you guys dose this every 7 days to your system and stand by ready to clean out anything that might die, I promise you guys within about a month, maybe even less, you guys are not going to have a flatworm issue ever again. So until next time, take care, God bless, and please leave your comments and responses down below. And if you would like the video, I would really appreciate that because that helps me out. Take care, guys. Bye.